my distinct privilege and honor.
But now we both crying, see?
But stop crying, I had my turn. The first black mayor in the city of Newark. And any large city in the northeast of the United States of America. Kenneth Allen Gibson.
This is an honor and a privilege to me. This is my mayor. There you go. This is my mayor. Mayor Gibson and I have something in common. Mayor Gibson is from Enterprise, Alabama, home of the boll weevil. How would I know that? Because the Lanes, which is my maiden name, and the Gibsons are friends in Enterprise, Alabama. I've never not known this man in my life. Mayor Gibson came to Newark when Newark was ravaged. It looked like a war zone. And after the riots of 67, come on, Mayor. 67. He had a job, a tremendous job to try to pull the city back together.
Yes.
We were in an absolute mess under Hugh Adenizio and Anthony Imperiale, who ran this city at that time.
Yes.
Mayor Gibson is a gentle giant.
Yes.
He was the calm in the midst of a storm. He put peace to the city, and he made living better for all, whether you were black, white, or whatever. He took care of the city of Newark. Mayor Gibson is an humble man, very humble. He doesn't say much. He doesn't want anybody to give him accolades. But this time, when I was putting the program together, I want all these living legends. I've been blessed to actually know these people personally in my life, and there's made a difference. My parents are community activists, along with Clara Little and the Lanes. We were community activists in the South Ward. We got involved in politics. In 1970, when he was inaugurated, you think that President Obama had a rally down there at Terrace Ballroom? They was in the street. And I was a young person, but I remember all that. But one thing I want to tell you about Mayor Gibson, when people left Newark in Groves after the riot, they left here. But Society Hill that sits across the street, that's Mayor Gibson's project. To bring the middle class blacks back to the city that sits across that beautiful edifice across the street belongs to him. That's Mayor Gibson. So that's just one of his many accomplishments, but that's one that I remember. So Mayor Gibson, on behalf of Bethany Chapter 43 Order of the Eastern Star, Prince Hall Affiliation for the Jurisdiction of New Jersey, I want to say thank you for being that trailblazer who made this city what it is today. We stand on your back, on your shoulders. You are still who you are, and we'll love you to the end of the earth.
Thank you very much. When I listened to the early awardees, I tried to reduce my comments because I could tell stories about all of them. In a crowd like this, you're not sure how deep you go. I'll start with the young man sitting at the table with me, Elton Hill.
Oh, yeah, right.
He talked about coming here in 1939. Elton, you have to remember that some of these people are not old enough to think about 1930. You start talking about 1939, we have to talk about Mama Street School.
Talk about it.
And I was asked to speak at Central High School in the year 2000, graduation. I graduated from Central High School in 1950. I stood up in front of those young people at graduation, and I said to them what I just said to you. You know, I graduated from this school, and I used to sit right over there in that chair, and I saw all of those young people say, "Jesus, how old is that guy?" I'm not going to tell stories about everybody. Vicki, I remember that day when you talked about making that presentation to the state. You talked about me appointing you to the Board of Education. But there were some people who followed your footsteps.
Yes.
Yes.
You were young, you said, 21. Remember somebody came right after you.
That's right.
A couple of years later, he was 17. His name was Larry Ham.
That's right.
Wow.
So we had record-setting
Yes, you did.
administrations. You led the way, Vicki, for those that followed you. And Michael, Carolyn's son, Michael, is here.
Yes.
He and I had a very brief conversation on the way out. Michael, you have some strong shoulders to follow.
Yes,
Lord,
yes,
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 yes.
yes.
Might not seem like that now, but sooner in the days when you get a little older, you'll have some of those young people come to you and say, how much you helped them.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell a brief story about Elton, because we go back the longest in this room, because we lived across the street from each other. We walked to Mount Street School every morning together. We used to hang out in the street together. We used to do some things that we won't talk about. But we had a friend that had a deathly terminal illness, and we went to New York to visit with him. And I donated some blood that day because they were asking for blood donations. And when we got ready to come back home, we went up to Elton's house. We did what we usually did. We got something to drink. And it wasn't Kool-Aid.
All right.
So I was sitting in the kitchen with Elton, and we were sipping. And after you give a pint of blood, your blood alcohol level changes. And some of y'all understand this. Those of you who don't drink don't know. But my blood alcohol level changed, and I had the glass in my hand, and I reached over to put the glass on the table, and I missed. And the next time I went to Elton's house, when I got ready to get my drink, he gave me an aluminum tumbler. See, now, to tell the truth, I gave up drinking when I got elected. I didn't drink that much, but I tell people right now today, somebody says, "You don't drink?" No, I said, "No, I don't drink." "No, you don't have no fun." I said, "Let me tell you something. I came off Mama Street."
Watch your mouth. I came from Mama Street
That is funny.
Pick him up from on the street. And if I never have another drink,
All right.
this is 1970, y'all. And I haven't had anything since. But if I never have another drink, I had my share. So I thank you all. I enjoyed it. It was a good party. And those of you who don't know that Reverend B.F. Johnson came to me in the office one day when the church was across the street. He said, we need land for the church. I said, Reverend, where would you like to have it? He said, I want it right in the middle of the place. I pulled out a map and put it up on the wall. I said, how about this right here? He said, you mean I can have that land? I said, you can have that land. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave B.F. Johnson and this church the right to build this church right here. Anything else in life, I can say I contributed. Thank you very much.
I would like for all the honorees to come up for a picture. Okay, I'm sorry, at the end of the program, we'll take a picture. But I'm gonna conclude and have a seat. I wanna thank my crew for helping me